Hi, friend. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Anna Marie.
And I'm Cortney McDermott.
And today we're having a conversation about health, consciousness. Great topic.
Yes. We're moving on from health. If you caught the last episode where we were talking about your inner teacher, check that out for sure. I think before turning into this, or if you can go back after this, because that's sort of the foundation and the basis for a lot of what we're sharing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So when it comes to health consciousness, Cortney, what comes up for you?
Woo. What comes up for me first is there's that saying, I don't recall exactly how it goes, but something like a healthy man has 1,000 dreams and an unhealthy one has but one. And it's just such a good reminder of the kind of the basis, your vitality, right? It's like you could want to do a lot of things. And if your body is not along for the ride, then you're going to be in some trouble. So it's how do we bring that? How do we bring it again when we come back to that point about coherence and alignment? How do we bring ourselves in alignment through our consciousness with principles and of health?
Yeah. It's so important. And I think that people get confused. There's a lot of junk out there, like you like to call it muck, that happens due to advertising, different types of diets. And it can be very overwhelming. What I find when I work with clients is they're overwhelmed. They've tried so many things. They don't know where to start, and they honestly, they don't know who to trust. And so that's when I usually am like, okay, let's go back, and I point the finger essentially back at them.
Right.
Because when we're in that coherence and that alignment, anything we eat shows up differently. Anything we drink shows up differently, and our body responds differently. I always remind people that, you know, I always ask, like, when does digestion happen? When does it actually initially begin? And most people say, oh, when you put food in your mouth. But actually, digestion begins when you start to think, I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
What should I eat? And what happens is your brain starts to send, okay, let's get some saliva going in the mouth. Let's get those digestive enzymes brewing in the stomach because we're about to eat. And it's this very harmonious symphony of what happens in the human body when you ingest something. So your body can break everything down and your body can utilize what it needs. Now, if somebody is thinking, oh, I really shouldn't eat that. Oh, that's going to make me fat. Oh, your body's like, do I recruit enzymes? Do I increase saliva? Like your body's going back and forth. And then the moment you take that food in it's more of a hostile environment, it doesn't get broken down as well. Right. Food will sit in your gut. You can get indigestion. Things don't feel as good. And so I share that because when it comes to that consciousness and just being in flow, like we talked about in the first episode, we're more likely to show up at a dinner party, have that slice of cake, and it's harmonious. We enjoy it. We don't gain the weight that we otherwise would think we would if we ate it in a essentially hostile environment.
Yeah. Yes. And I think embedded in that is just this deep listening that we have lost. So many of us have lost this. And I love that you point people back to themselves, because that's always what I'm doing too is, I'll say, well, I don't have your answers, right? But you do.
Yeah. And
so I think one of the biggest pieces is precisely to where you started at the beginning is a demucking, right? There's so much in the way. There's so much in the way of that, again, that inner knowing. And when you start to listen, really listen, then you also know things like what you're talking about of, oh, now those hunger signals are coming. I'm not eating because it's this time of day. I'm not going to work out because I know I have to. I am doing this as a way to fuel my vitality, to be more of who I know myself to be. And again, that leads back to that first conversation of that inner teacher and the place where things are happening through you as a result of who you are versus that forced approach to, okay, I'm going to do this because it's the new year and I'm going to set out and, all the things. And that deep listening, again, I think it's something that we've gotten away from, and anything that's pointing you back to that is where it's at, because where it's at is in you.
Yes, 100%. I remember years ago, I would eat something. I'd be like, oh, I have to go run 5 miles to burn this off.
Wow.
And it was like exercise I used as almost like a punishment or something reactionary to what I ate. Or on the flip end, oh, I just ran 4 miles or 5 miles. Oh, I can eat all this. And it was like this psychological back and forth that there wasn't coherence. I wasn't at peace.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important for the listener to like really tune into themselves. And, when it comes to your health, I love how Barbara O'Neill always says, we should never make decisions on our health based out of fear. And that's true for whether you're eating that slice of cake or whether you're choosing maybe a treatment because you were diagnosed with something. When we're in that coherence, we should be making decisions based on a clear vessel and an inner knowing versus force and reactionary.
Yeah. And that consciousness, because really what we're talking about is a consciousness. I've seen spontaneous transformations in myself and a lot of the people that I've worked with. And I wrote about this in the second book because I really wanted to get to some of the science behind that and how we can shift so rapidly and so stark. I mean, the oftentimes when I'm giving presentations around the world, I'll show a picture of me from, I think it's about 10 years ago. And the vast majority of the audience doesn't recognize me at all. I'm just not the same person at all physically. And so it's kind of shocking to people when they see that. And the whole point of that presentation, and one of the main ones that I give around the world, is your physical can change instantaneously when your consciousness is aligned with that which you're seeking.
Yes.
And a lot of people can dismiss that. But again, there's a lot of science behind it. If you think about it, it's like if we look at what our scientists tell us, right? And, we look at the basic unit of matter, all right? And we take these things like atoms, and then and then the scientists also, those are really comprised of photons and electrons and such. And then they'll bring it down even deeper and say, oh, those are quarks and bosons and leptons, right? We get into the subatomic, and then I love the way scientists talk about it, because then they say it's wavelets. Right. So it's basically like these waves. Right. It's these energy waves, these things that we can't quite describe. We can't quite, we give them these cute little names. But the point that's at the core of this is that you're moldable, you're shapeable. This is what we get taught through not just neuroplasticity, but signaling your genes in different ways and things like that. So the thing that I think is really crucial to come back to is that anything you do trying to get somewhere is going to fall short at some point, whether it does instantaneously or whether it does later, versus when you truly embody the consciousness of something, that's when true radical shift takes hold and stays.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And here's the thing. The body is always going to follow the mind. And the mind's always going to do what the heart is saying. So if we're not one following our heart, having that coherence, if our mind isn't in the right space, our body is going to follow in a disarray and we'll feel in a disarray. And I find it interesting, our brain, I love the brain. Our brain's the strongest pharmacy on planet Earth. Totally. It's only 2% of your body. You guys may have heard this, but it utilizes up to 20 to 25% of all the oxygens, nutrients, everything you put in it.
Calories too that you consume.
Yes, it is your operating system. And what's powerful about the brain is in 150 to 300 milliseconds, you can shift a thought and it'll change your biochemistry, changing the chemical reactions that are going on in the brain. So with what you've said, with your spontaneous transformation, with how literally you went to bed one night and you woke up and looked different the next day.
Yeah.
Your brain decided to follow your heart, that alignment, and that shifted all your biochemistry.
Right.
And your body showed up in a completely different way.
Right.
Some people think they have to take, 6 weeks, a month, or whatever. And whatever your mind's telling yourself is how long it's going to take. Or what I find too is when it comes to people's health, because they have all these ideas around it, it's like if we can't envision the vitality and experience the emotion that we think when we'll get to that vitality, if we can't embody it now and foresee that, it's actually delusional to think that one day it's just going to appear. Because we have to align with it. We have to be able to envision it and feel it. And the moment we envision it and we feel it, we bring it in so much faster, which is so cool.
Right. Well, we start to magnetize it, right? We start to really send out the signals that are the corresponding match of that which we seek, right? So in the first episode, when we were talking about potentials in the field, right? These are probability amplitudes that exist. They exist right now. They exist for you now. And again, precisely to your point, if you can feel into them, if you can experience them now, then what happens is, again, you start to really marshal your particles, right? One of the best ways I've ever seen it explained and use it to explain what we're talking about here is a magnet, right? A magnet is a magnet because all of its particles are arranged and facing a single direction. Okay. If you take that very same substance and you disperse the particles, it is no longer a magnet. So again, what does displaced or dispersed particles look like? It looks like, oh, this person's telling me to do that, and this person's telling me to do that, and I'm going to go over here and try this, and then I'm going to try that, and da 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 da. Versus, I am going to lay, even better. I'm going to lie down. I'm going to relax. And I'm going to feel as much as I can, feel into that potential, just sort of almost as if you were reaching in the dark for something that you know is there. And then start to feel the light of that enliven my cells so that I am aligning and literally marshaling my particles, my cells to face in that direction.
Yeah.
And this isn't for the faint of heart, but at the same time, you're doing it anyway. So that's what I also like to point out is, if we start at the level of the thought, it is a gargantuan task to shift the way you're thinking for most people, because, we say I think, but for most people, that's the equivalent of saying I beat my heart, because most people are not consciously directing the thought process. In order to get to that place of being able to consciously direct thought, the easiest way, one of the easiest gateways in, is to really start shifting your state, to just go for that walk that, you didn't want to go for. And even if literally 5 minutes will do the trick, lie down and yawn, as we were talking about in the first episode. These will start to shift your state so that you can have more a direction in your thought. Because if you look at thoughts, right, and we know this, and it's really funny what we know and what we don't know from what our scientists tell us, our neuroscientists tell us. But we've been told, right, that we have somewhere between 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And for the average person, those are the same thoughts every day. So really, you're calcifying into a persona.
Yes.
You're calcifying into a persona because that same thought pattern is informing the behavioral pattern, is informing, again, the cellular alignment or disalignment. All of that's happening. So if you try to say, oh, I'm going to start having a different 50,000 thoughts or 70,000 thoughts a day, you're up against Everest. Versus, okay, I'm going to take a walk, I'm going to relax my body, and I'm going to feel into this potential as much as I can right now. Just a little glimmer, a little light. The more you stoke that flame, the brighter it gets. The more you're aligned to it, the more those potentials appear. You don't have to go seeking them. They literally appear.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love how you say lay down. And for anyone out there, one of the things that I find when it comes, first of all, if anyone comes to me at Happy Whole You and they tell me they want to lose weight, like that's their only thing they want to lose weight, I always tell them I'm not the practitioner for you, because we got to go super deep. But the reality is a lot of people do want to lose weight, and it's not the weight loss that they're really after. Exactly. It's what they think. And so what I think is really powerful to do in the situation of wanting to experience a different body, and not experience a different body, but feel that your body has shifted in a big way, is to lay down and to get in this deep space of gratitude, because what I find is a lot of people I work with, they're disconnected from their body. Their body's working against them. They say they always lose weight. Their joints hurt. They get headaches. Their hormones feel out of whack. They like feel like it was only a matter of time till they got to a certain age and their body was just going to turn on them. And so if we get in this state of just breathing, laying down, and being like so grateful for these hands, like these hands held my daughter's hand for the first time. These hands, you know, helped my son walk into his first day of kindergarten. If we can be in gratitude for our eyes, right? Being able to see grandparents that we had, our parents, our friends, witness someone getting married, witnessing like my kids make their first basketball shot, or, you know, the volleyball hitting over the net, or like, man, our eyes are so amazing.
Yeah.
And just getting in such a deep gratitude for our physical bodies, that alignment, I believe, is so important first, because to have that true coherence of health and vitality and well-being, we have to be totally in love with this amazing body that we've been given. And it's a gift from God. But we almost turn against it. I mean, I've turned against my body. You know, I've many times have turned against my body. And when we can get in that deep gratitude for it, I feel like that alignment is so important. So going back to the lying down, I encourage you to just lie down, close your eyes, and every breath, I want you to go through each part of your body. Oh, these eyebrows, they're so wonderful. Oh, these eyes, they help me see. Go through my nose, I can smell. My mouth, I can speak. I can taste. Like, just go through each part of your body and go into a deep gratitude for how your body shows up for you each and every day. And I think that's a really powerful exercise that people can start with to really get to that alignment.
Yeah. Yeah. Gratitude is, it's really, it's the magic medicine. You know, it really is. It's a magic medicine. And when you feel it in the ways you're talking about, where you can really get with, okay, because people talk about it all the time, and they'll talk about lists and things like that, and things you can do, but it's not it's a very, you're like very in it, like you're talking about. And just the same way we talk about feeling into a potential, feeling into that gratitude, finding a way in, whatever that takes. I mean, there's been many times where I've sat and written down things that I was grateful for when I wasn't in the spirit to do it. And I'm so glad that I did that for so long, and that I still do that, because it's a again, calling that back to you. And people discount this, but it's at your detriment, right? Because it's one of those very simple ways to just be in the frequency that we're talking about.
And I like what you said about how you didn't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, if we can show up and go into gratitude, and even though I don't feel like going for this walk, I'm still going to do it because I'm grateful because I have these legs that work.
Yeah. That was me this morning. It's so cold outside. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to do this because I want to be at my best, right? For what we're doing. And so I was like, okay. And I had to rally for it. But again, feeling like, okay, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you for making this possible for me. Like, there's been times where I haven't wanted to get out of bed, and, you know, I haven't been able to marshal that. And I feel, you know, when people can get there, and these are some of the ways that we've used to really just come into, again, a different potential.
Yeah. One really cool thing is that when we go into gratitude, what it does is it takes us out of that fear center of our brain.
Yeah.
And it puts us in this current moment using our frontal lobe, which is literally taking us out of fight or flight. Gratitude does this. It takes us out of fight or flight, and it brings us back into the current moment. And again, our body is going to show up in a different way, and in a way that's going to do the very thing that you were using fear and force to do. You're actually going to show up and be able to do it, because it's just like, oh, of course I'm going to do that. Like, I'm so grateful I can even do that.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a snap of a finger.
Uh-huh.
It's like,
Uh-huh.
so yeah. So if you are in those moments where you're finding yourself, I don't want to get out of bed and go exercise, or, whatever it is, take that split second, go into gratitude for what it is that you want to do and that you're going to do. And you may find that every time you shift that perspective, that practice, it gets easier and easier and easier. And then you find yourself just doing it.
Right. Well,
Which is cool.
Yeah. And the thing about, for instance, take the run, right? What's astonishing to me is in a lot of the studies that they've done, a lot of the research that we see coming out and that we've seen over the last few years is people in situations where they've just imagined doing the thing.
Oh, yes.
Just imagined. They have just used the power of imagination that we're talking about in terms of really feeling into it. So it's not just, no, I said the thing, or I wrote down the things I'm grateful for, but it's allowing the frequency of that into your cells. And so these studies are absolutely fascinating. Like one was done with weights, free weights, where the subjects in the study, some of them actually lifted them and some of them just imagined lifting them. And they all had the same increase in muscle mass. You see this in things like practicing the piano. Some people literally, doing
Shooting
it
the free throws.
shooting the free throws. We see these studies and it reminds us again to this foundation that we've been talking about and that we talked about again in the first episode of just, hey, you also can feel into this consciousness and it is going to shape the physical. Like, it's not that you don't go out to do the run to get the thing. The run happens because you've embodied that consciousness. Mm-hmm. It's a very, very different approach. It's not like, get yourself out there and just do the things. Yeah. It's like, no, if you're only feeling that you can lay in bed, great. And use this creative principle and power that we have to take that time to practice the reps in your head. Literally, like go check out the studies if you need that to back it up. Yeah. And you also don't need it. Just relax and allow that potential to start to take form in your life.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so true. I didn't even think of it in that way, which is amazing. Yeah. Just to sit there and visualize it.
Yeah, feel it. Feel it. Feel it. I think that's another place where people get tripped up because a lot of people have told me in the past, so I can't visualize. My brain doesn't work that way. And I'm like, okay, fine. Just take rest, get in a resting position, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And can you remember a time where you felt so happy you cried? Or you had that sensation of a cry, right, in your heart? And pretty much anyone can get to that, or they can get to some memory that sparks this what we're talking about here. And as long as you can hold that vibration for a little bit, it's going to offset so many other toxins and things that are in the way of your truth. Yeah. That are in the way of the truth of your body. Your body desires health. Your body knocks things or, does things so that you can get back to homeostasis, so that you can get back to health. That's its job. Yeah. That's its job. So sometimes we think the body's creating disease, but really the body is creating health all the time. It is looking to put us into a state of perfect health. Yes. What's the muck that's in the way is what needs to be cleared, which is another thing that I love about our work together and what we're bringing to people when we meet in person. We're having an event on January 4th. When we do this, it's like we're not asking or wanting you to add anything. Like so many people come at this as an additive thing and now we're going to do this and do that. No. It's take away everything that's been in the way of your truth. Yes. And your truth is health. Your truth is vitality. Your truth is wealth. Mm-hmm. Your truth is joy. And joy comes in such surprising packages. Like sometimes even there, we think that it's something that, everything has to be in a row and everything has to be. No. Joy can be found in those moments that bring you to your knees in grief. But the fact that you're human and you get to experience it is so joyful that you don't even know how to contain it in your physical form. So that's what we're talking about. Yeah. That's health. That's vitality. That's wellness. That's where it's at. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a mic drop right there.
Boom. I get into my preacher mode sometimes.
I really love it. No, I love it.
Sunday.
It's so good. It's so good because it is that God-given right to have health and vitality, and the body does everything it can every day to keep us alive, not to make us sick. Mm-hmm. And you're so right about that. It's trying to constantly bring us back to homeostasis and our bodies don't work against us. And I always say, like, any physical ailment that your body is experiencing, and I use the word experiencing because I don't think it's something we have. We don't want to own it. But anything your body is experiencing, whether it's acid reflux or discomfort in your hip, or even something as extreme as cancer, this is your body's way of sharing with you, yes, that something is out of alignment. And there are some changes that need to be made. And you get to discover that and align with that. Because when we're in alignment, our bodies don't ache. Our bodies don't hurt. We don't crave, crazy things and have crazy cravings. There goes the fire truck. We don't have those crazy extremes of hunger and these cravings because we're in alignment. There's no extremes going on, and we're at peace. And it's just like, what sounds good to eat today? Like, there's a difference between emotional hunger and then true hunger. And so, but we will experience more emotional hunger when we are in a state of chaos and we are not in a state of alignment and we are not in that true vitality, that God-given vitality that we've been given to experience.
I would love for you to take us back a moment to what we were talking about in the first episode, because it's so critical for everything we're sharing, which is the breath. And it's funny because, we're sitting out here, we are rallying in this, it's chilly here. It's cold. Overcast. We got Eliana and David back there. They are rallying right along with us. And I'm reminded, I love the stretching. David's like, he's on it. I'm reminded just being here in this environment of how powerful the breath is, because for me to stay in this place of just this beautiful equanimity with all that's happening, the sirens, all the things, is my breath is that constant reminder. Bring it back. Come home, come home, come home. The breath, deepening it when we feel uncomfortable. And I've had episodes of this where I wasn't doing any breath work. I just deepened into my breath and relaxed into my breath. And the sensations, for example, of cold, they start to dissipate. The sensation of discomfort starts to dissipate. You're not, railing against something. You're inviting life in to move through you, to allow you to experience the things, to allow you to experience health, to allow you to experience peace in the cosmos and the chaos, to really give you that sense of, I can come home here whenever I want. That's health. That's health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go home to yourself.
Yeah.
Come home to yourself. And it's that simple, and yet it can feel like light years away for some people that haven't experienced it.
Well, yeah, and I think we're so trained and in-trained to look for it outside of ourselves, as we've been saying, right? And to say, okay, health resides in a practice. Health resides in going somewhere to get some sort of treatment. Health resides in all these things. No, health resides in you in a perfect state. And I use that word very mindfully, because we're not talking about perfection in the way people talk about perfection. We're talking about a deep sense of equanimity inside of yourself. And a knowing that it's all good in the truest, purest sense, not good, bad, right, wrong, none of that. Nothing moralistic about it. Simply a deepening into just this peace that you're talking about. And so, I think that's one of the ways when we talk about the breath, especially, but there's so many other beautiful things that come again as a result of, yourself to be health, right? You know that to be your reality, and hence the things around you have to align.
So we have the visualization, we have the using the breath and being in deep gratitude. I think if we all just try that on for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it would be pretty cool to see what comes up for people.
Yeah. And again, all those things are not additive they're additive in the best sense. They're not another thing you have to do. they're again this deep relaxing into a state of health, into a state of vitality.
Yeah.
That is already there, again, already exists as a potential in the field.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. And I can't wait on January 4th to even put this into practice with the people that are going to show up. It's so exciting. It's like when I talked about on the first episode of that, going to a breathwork class with the collectiveness of the people there and in the room. Yeah, we can all have the apps and we can do the breath on our own. And that's a great practice to have. But there's also something about the coming together that elevates each and every person that is there. It's just so exciting to do that.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for
Well,
that.
and again, it's a frequency and it's an entrainment to that frequency. I'm sure you have countless cases of this. I've got dozens of them in my practice as well, of people coming and having those spontaneous shifts. I mean, I was recently on stage. We were both on stage in Arizona and Phoenix, and I was talking about a young woman who was brought in to work with me. And I normally don't work with young people, but I made an exception in this case. I had been working with this family, a very prominent family in South America, and they were going through some major life transitions. And so they were asking me to work with their daughter. And when we started working together, I discovered that she was suffering from terrible eczema and had been for about 3 years. And the family had done everything. This family did not want for resources. They'd done everything. We had one session together about the nature of consciousness, and her eczema vanished. And it did not come back.
Yeah.
And there's nothing topical that they could do, no internal medicine, none of that was working. But when she because she was also at a place where she had that plasticity, and we all have this. We all have this at any age. This is what science is demonstrating for us. But she had that plasticity where she could move into a different personality, persona. Like, I get on about this because we're all playing characters anyway. So which one do you want to embody on the stage, right?
Yeah.
And we could go on about that. And that is also part of just health and vitality. But the point that I'm making is those things sometimes this is a transmission, and it is being in the frequency of that which you seek. It is surrounding yourself. Like Einstein said that the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. What is your inner field? What is your outer field? They are informing the particle. Get with that, and you will have gotten with the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I hope what you're getting from this is that you have the answers within you. Like
you are the answer.
You are the answer. It's literally within all of us. And that's why I'm so glad that we decided to just, have these conversations and record this information, because you and I both did not have this information years ago. Girl, you and I were
we had this information.
Oh my gosh.
Being the type A's that we are.
I know. You and I were both living, like you say, miserably successful or something. Yeah. So like,
we could have said, relax, girl. We wouldn't have been able to hear it.
No. I remember, this was probably 20 years ago, thinking people that did yoga, I was like, how are they even going to get fit? Like, that's crazy to me, because like, if you didn't lift weights or go run, like, I was like, what are you even doing? Like, and it's interesting because I remember clearly, vividly having that thought, and like people that meditated, I'm like, that's just so weird.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, give it all to me. Like,
oh my God.
I need all of it. But there's something about embracing all of it.
Yeah.
And then knowing you can get along with none of it.
Yeah.
Like you can just do whatever feels aligned with you. And there's not one answer. It's whatever within you feels aligned that you can go to that will work for you.
Right. Well,
it's
precisely those things that we need to debunk too, because you're reminding me of a recent conversation I had with Dana McDermott. She's my go-to, like she's my go-to in every moment. And we were having this conversation, and she was asking me, she goes, what did you do to your arm? Like your arms look more what's the word? Toned.
Toned.
She said, your arms look, see, I don't even know the word. She said, your arms look really toned. And I'm like, oh, I haven't been doing anything. I really haven't. Like, I'm not with, and now, you know, every once in a while I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do some push-ups. But the push-ups again come from this knowing of this is how my body is. But it's not, I'm not, again, going to do that thing. It's kind of the order, right? Of the truth of who you are. Yeah.
It's so fun.
It's so fun. And yes, no, we were, but neither one of us in this place of like, yeah, this is fun. We're like, boom, 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 boom. So if you're in that space, because I think we are so, again, trained and entrained to get into that, that's where you come into, okay, let me see who's done the 4-minute mile. Let me see who has kind of moved into this frequency that I'm seeking, because there are lots of people out there, you know, self-proclaimed coaches and all the things, right? It's funny.
I've hired all of them.
Well, it's funny. In Italian, they have this expression, l'imbarazzo della scelta. It means the embarrassment of choice. And it's like, there's all these people everywhere telling you that they got your answers. If anyone tells you they have your answers, please, 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 I beg of you, run in the opposite direction.
Yes.
Like, run. Don't walk, run. David's back there jumping, jump. Just move. Just get out of here. And instead, when you have people guiding you back to these principles that are in you that have just been covered up, they're just literally covered up. Come back to the truth of health. Come back to the truth of wealth, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit. Come back to these fundamental truths. They're right there. They're just waiting for you to reveal them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. You guys, we're so happy you showed up today. We're so glad, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah. See ya.